This is what my house looks like at night with no lights on. I have a couple of little solar LED lawn lights, but they don't provide a lot of light. And this is what my house looks like with all of my front lights on, all one of them. So I have a front porch light, and that's about it. So this is going to be a 3-part video series on adding some lights to the front of my house. Since I only have the one front porch light, I want to add a floodlight on the corner of my house by the garage so I can really light up the driveway and the side of the house, and I want to add 2 carriage lights on either side of the garage door. All of my neighbors have carriage lights, although those aren't on. All my neighbors have carriage lights and floodlights, and so I have a little bit of light envy, and my house seems to be the darkest one on the street. So we're going to solve that today, or tomorrow, I guess, since it's already dark out. Hey, I'm Chad. Welcome back to Just Add Wood. Like I was saying in the intro, save for that one front porch light, my house is just too dark at night. Can't really see or do anything in the driveway. Luckily for me, I'm in a situation where all of the wiring runs in the attic. It is a low slope roof, so it's a little hard to get wires out towards the ends where the roof comes down over the wall and you can't really get to the top of the wall plate. But most of these old 70s brick ranch houses that aren't on a basement have junction boxes in the attic, and so that's what you see behind me. So I just took the single light down, capped the junction box, and ran all the wires to all of these wafer lights, and that's essentially what I'm going to do here. So let me show you. So on the front corner of the house, I'm just going to install a wired floodlight camera smart light. This particular one is by Blink. This is not a review of floodlights. I did a lot of homework on Ring versus Blink versus other brands. I don't know which one's better. This is the one I chose, so this is the one I'm going to install. You're going to need a little bit of 14-2 wiring, and you're going to need some sort of box. There is no existing floodlight where I want to install this one. So I will need to install some sort of electrical box to mount the light to. So what I plan on doing is on this corner of the house, on the side of the garage, up in the soffit, I'm going to cut a hole in the vinyl. There's plywood above it. Somebody's just added vinyl prior to me owning the house. They've added vinyl right on top of the plywood soffit. So I'm just gonna trim a hole in the vinyl, and I'm gonna mount the pancake box directly to the plywood above. I'm gonna drill a hole and push a wire through into the attic in this hard to reach low slope area. I'm gonna push it through using a glow stick into the attic to where I can reach it, and then I'm gonna pull it through, and I'm gonna tie it into that existing junction box that I just showed you. Because in my old house, I replaced a floodlight with a smart light, and it was on a switch, as lights typically are. And what I wound up having to do was tape the switch to the on position so nobody would turn it off on accident. In this situation, because there's no existing light, what I'm gonna do is wire it to the junction box without a switch, so it will always be on. You can set various parameters and scenarios. You can do dusk to dawn, and you can do motion, and the camera will always be on this way. So that's how we're gonna do it. So let's get everything out of the way. And for all you veterans out there, happy Veterans Day. Okay, let's cut a hole, because if you've seen any of my past videos, seems I like to cut holes in my houses. Why not? I think I want to mount it about right there. It should be close enough to the wall to keep it away from the weather, but far enough out where I can aim one light around the corner. We're just going to mark it. There we go. Let's make our way around. And halfway there. And all the way there. That's gonna look great. And that's gonna fit in there just fine. Okay, so with this hole cut, I have put the pancake box in there, and I've marked where I'm gonna cut a hole. I'm gonna drill a hole to put the wires through to the attic. And in the attic I am. All right. So now we can just use a glow stick and push the wire through until I can reach it. Excuse that loud car. You don't have to have a lot of fancy tools or a lot of knowledge to do this stuff. That's why it's called DIY, do it yourself. But do it at your own risk. Just because you know how to connect some wires doesn't mean you should. I'm not a licensed electrician. I'm a typical homeowner that has had a little bit of exposure to wiring in the past, and I'm going to give this a shot. Doesn't mean you should. Please seek professional assistance when needed, and take care and turn the power off and do the things you need to do before you tackle a project like this. Now I've drilled a hole, and because the roof above this eave is so shallow of a slope, there's not a lot of room between the top of this wall, this soffit, and the roof above. So I could never crawl into the attic to get to this corner. So my hope is I can push enough glow rod into the attic to push this through towards the middle where there is room for me to reach it. So let's see if I can get into the attic here and push enough glow rod where I can reach it. I don't know what I'm hitting in there. I was hoping to be able to hit the plywood and just sort of curve it and follow the plywood all the way in. But clearly I'm running into something in there.
Few inches later.
Okay, well, fast forward a few minutes, I ran into some problems. First problem was we're so close to the end of my corner of my roof line that where I drilled the hole for my light is boxed in the attic. So the rafters all run, the rafter tails and the hip rafters, whatever they're called in here, all run to dead end boxes. So there was no way for me to feed wire into my attic. So I cut over, there was a way to feed wire, I misspoke. It was very difficult to get the glow rod into the attic where I placed the light. So I moved over a few inches onto the other side of the stud bay, the joist bay, and drilled a hole using a hole saw that I have for the flush mount lights you saw in the garage earlier. And I was able to sneak the glow rod through there. So what we're gonna do is pull the wire down through here. If I can back this out just enough to show us, there we go. I'm gonna tape the wire onto here, pull it through, and then fish it over to this hole where I want it, or patch this hole with a piece of plywood and put it all back together, put the vinyl siding back up, and we'll be good to go. I'm just gonna take the end of my wire here and hold it onto the glow rods and tape it up. Hope it doesn't slip off. Should be just fine. All right, now I'm gonna go into the attic and pull this through until I have enough wire to a spot where I can reach it. Okay, now that I've pulled enough wire into the attic and over to the junction box, now, okay, first thing we're gonna do is figure out how much wire I need sticking out, because we need to run it from this big hole down to the little hole where the pancake box is gonna go. So I'm gonna take this, guesstimate to about there, and I'm gonna cut this off. Okay, sorry about that. The camera fell. Doesn't appear to be hurt though, so that's good. I guesstimated about how much wire I need. Cut that off and we'll feed it through. We'll try to find the hole here. Where are you, little wire? Where are you? What's going on up here? There we go. All right. Get my arm out. Pull the wire through. There we go. Okie dokie. Let's patch this little hole here with a block of wood. There we go. We're gonna do the same on this side. Okay. Take this little screw out and put our hole back in the hole. And since it's going to be behind vinyl siding, that's as good as it gets. There we go. And we're going to patch it together as well. Like the junction box, we're going to feed the wire through socket like you're supposed to. And we're gonna stick it up in there just like that. I'm gonna attach it with a couple of general purpose construction screws, just like our little plywood patch back there. There we go. Right where it belongs. Let's tighten that clamp up. Let's put this T-bar on. Get it evened up and tighten it down. Let's try that again. Get it evened up and tighten it down. There we go. Now it's ready for the light. And the light says use this handy dandy little hook to hang the light while you wire it. Let's hang it this way so we can see what we're doing. Okay, wires peeled back. It's a standard install, white to white, black to black, green to ground. And then I'm also going to run a ground to this little bar here to bond the box. All right, ground. Here we go. Get that wrapped around there. Tighten that up somehow. All right, box is grounded. Let's figure out how to install this blink. How this works. Take our handy dandy hook off and set this up for success. Get all these wires out of the way best we can. Okay. It goes in a little center post there. And this little socket screw goes on there. Goes up the center hole. There we go. Oh, we have to turn it the right way though, I think. Let's turn it the right way. Let's spin it so the camera faces forward. There we go. We'll have lights going on the side of the house and lights going on the front of the house. That's going to be good. There we go. Okay. Pull some plastic off. Ah, that new car smell. Okay. Okay, I'm going to fiddle with camera placement and light placement and download the app and get everything working as it should. And in the meanwhile, please like, subscribe, leave any comments you may have below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you liked, disliked, things I should have done differently or better or not at all. Just let me know, and look forward to videos in the near future when I install the carriage lights next to the garage door and replace the old carriage light next to the front door. This has been Chad with Just Add Wood. Thanks for watching.